Amanda.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching Heavenly Delusion Season 1, Episode 8. Last episode, we were introduced to the Immortal Order, kind of, at the end. A lot of the episode was talking about the Immortal Order.
They weren't in the room. They didn't get to, like, defend themselves.
Speak for themselves. Yeah. And it seems like the group that we had most of the episode with, Leviuman, was doing a lot of what they were accusing the Immortal Order of doing in a less severe way, you know?
Right. Hindsight 2020 for last episode. Maybe this entire series is going to end up being a case of that, because going back and having to edit the episode into, like, the reaction, the first line that I had really liked from last episode was the line about people getting blindly aggressive about things that they don't understand. And then we go from that to when we first meet this group, we're like, you know, you kind of signed, like, are you there? I'm sure there are people that are happy with the treatment they got, and you kind of signed up for it. And who's the group of people that are in matching outfits, marching down the street and yelling with signs?
Yeah, good point. Especially, like, at the end of the last episode, Dr. Usumi coming up to our characters in a way that kind of conveyed to me a sense of, can you help put this thing out of its misery?
Yeah.
I'm thinking that the idea of having this thing hooked up to a bunch of machines is more like, we're trying to kill this thing and take away its pain, and we haven't been able to yet.
Like a mercy situation.
Yeah.
They did do a really good job with Dr. Usumi's kind of body language upon his entrance. So we got this really cool, like, head down, and he kind of looks up without bringing his head back up. Super creepy.
Yeah, and
I like him so far.
I like him too. I felt like everything visually was meant to convey a sense of unsettling, menacing energy, but I don't buy it. I don't believe it.
I think he's a good guy.
Ready?
Yeah.
Sweet.
I feel like there are a lot of shows that have intrigue or mystery or things that we can't quite explain or maybe theorize about quite yet, that I at least feel to some extent a confidence that I have a grasp or a good idea.
Yeah.
Or I at least think I know what's happening, even if they end up switching up on me. For this show, I don't have any confidence that I know what's happening.
Interesting. I like the focusing in on the word confidence, like, there, because I have weak confidence in a lot of things. Like, when I'm, at the moment, I would like to say confident that these two stories are not happening at the same time. That being said, whereas other stories, that confidence would be like 80, 90%. This is like 60% confidence, or 55 maybe.
Just another day of protesting. Yep, that's why they did it. It's not like they needed to.
He has a crush? Oh, he's inspired by his crush.
You know what they say about a beautiful woman? She could lead to wars.
Oh!
Concussion.
Dead.
Dead. Concussion. Not dead. Just concussion.
Violence is wrong.
Through the first stone. Violence is wrong. No beliefs.
A decoy.
It seems like this group is automatically much smarter. We're
This
piecing
man's
things
missing an
together.
arm.
He is missing an arm. She needs a doctor. We don't trust the doctor.
Oh no.
Wait, actually? Or are we just doing that?
They're gonna feel so motivated.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Are those the type of people that are, like, peaceful? Wow.
None of these people look afraid, you know?
Wow. Yep. There's no
How
end.
long has he been doing this? Like... I'm kind of scared to... Look, do you see the marking on the face? Yeah.
これが患者たちの治療の礎だってのか。死なせたいなら機械を止めりゃいいじゃねえか。止めれば彼女は地下にいたような怪物になる。
What?
She turns into a man-eater?
人食いになるってのか。
Are man-eaters born from...
人間なのか。
人間かと言われれば少し違う。怪物になる病気を発症して死んだ。
Former humans who died of a disease. A specific disease?
その病気を発症した彼女を人として延命するために設けたものだ。進行を遅らせるには病に侵された体の部位を切り取るしかない。彼女の体がもう限界だ。地下で怪物を死なせた方法が彼女を人のまま死なせることができるかもしれない唯一の希望なんだ。
Holy shit.
Wow. The visual representation of it. Yep.
Yareru. そのタブレットで会話ができる。それにこちらの声も聞こえる。
Wow. This is what the fucking electronics are for.
Hoshio?
I want to see the sky last.
この人外に出せないのか。
機械から外せない。
So we have to figure something out.
ここからここまでのたったこれだけの距離だ。
それができないなら俺もやらない。
Wow.
あとこれもそばに置いてくれ。
With how old all of this equipment looks, and it was keeping her up.
しばらく彼女の耳が聞こえなくなるから、お前が彼女の視界に入ってやってくれ。
Seeing the sky. He cares so much.
Yeah. And
Do
she
you
still
think-
has a bit of a humor to
Do you think she's one of the kids?
Interesting.
What the fuck?
But he was one of your own! The mob mentality. They planned on doing this all along. The leader didn't even have to be dead. This is a freaking hospital.
Oh no. Wow. It's beautiful.
To go from killing what appears to be a monster to...
怪物になった方が楽だったかもしれない。
Oh my god.
長い間辛い
I
思い
wonder
を
if they were
させてしま
family.
ったな。
There was a look.
Same color eyes, I think. Did she type something?
宇佐美これ
Giving me your eye. Oh my god. So she could see the sky.
いや、彼女は人の寿命で死んだ。俺は彼女を埋葬してからガードと一緒に後を追う。
The guards.
先に行っててくれ。
なんでうちらが住むとこ終わるのあかんの。
俺が地下にいたやつ殺したから。
マル
構わん。
あんたに見てほしい人がたくさん。
もともと2人で住んでいたんだが、怪我人が迷い込んできて、気まぐれで義手を作ってやったら、
On a
いつの
whim.
間にかどんどん集まってきて。
Like he said, he never coined it as the immortal
そう
order.
だ。俺が何か作っていると、彼女が喜ぶんだ。
Oh, without the eye.
だから作ったんだ。
Her face shape looks so familiar.
だから。俺は一緒じゃない。
I think this is my favorite episode of the entire series.
俺は未来を手に入れたぞ。これだけの発電力があればここに街を作れる。
Selfish reasons.
この壊れた世界に新しい文化を。
He didn't even care about not these people that actually did the killing.
一つの秩序と統率。
They wanted this
国
building.
家なんだ。幼稚な派閥ごっこは終わりだ。ここから。
Oh shit.
Oh! Good.
知らないな。
この額の傷は一回見たら覚えてそうだよね。
What about the next one?
3年先生といるんは見たことないな。
Robin?
プードルキングガーイは稲崎先生じゃん。
Inazaki?
ああ、そうだ。こっちは
Doctor.
稲崎先生だ。
白装束とゴタゴタしだすよりもっと前だから2年くらい前かな。
2 years ago.
何にも言わずにといなくなっちゃった。
And he just disappeared
外
one
科の
day.
知識もあって宇佐美先生の技術を勉強してた。
もう人を死なせないんだとか言って。
Anyone
熱
else
心な人だ
die?
った。
絶対ロビンだ。やっぱり生きてた。会いたい。会わなくては。
お姉ちゃん。
ああ、成り行き上そんな形になってるな。
Maru.
ロビンのことも聞きたいしね。
そりゃ聞くさ、聞くよ。
はいはい。まだかな、宇佐美。
Oh. Do you see that?
The same as the gun.
Oh.
What would she want?
He said he was only making things because it was making her happy. Please, no.
宇佐美ともロビンとも逆だな。俺は
The opposite of them.
俺の手は死しか生まねえな。
Death.
そんなこと言うな。お前が得意を殺せば人が食われなくなってみんなの命が助かるだろう。
どうして訪れた
Who's blowing out the candle there? Interesting. Wait, what the?
I think that the girl was Mimahime. I think that the girl with the doctor was Mimahime. It has to be.
Being locked in somewhere. A person with gray silver hair that likes to build things?
No
shot.
Fucking
No
way.
shot. She was waiting for him, and now they're gonna... What the... She saw like a premonition of something.
幸せな気分になる夢を見た。どんな？もうよく覚えてない。
Wow. That was amazing.
What?
Okay, that was Heavenly Delusion Season 1, Episode 8. That was the best episode of the series. And, holy shit, there it is. That's what we needed. That's confirmation. Shiro, Mimahime, what we're seeing with Kiruko and Maru takes place after their lives. Or in the future from that other storyline that we're seeing. That means... 90% sure that Maru is the child of Kona and Tokyo.
Fun. And when Mimahime says that she had this vision of someone reaching in and pulling her out, that is what Maru just did. Breaking through the ceiling. And, oh my...
The face of somebody similar. So does that imply that if Tokyo is Maru's mom, Tokyo's still alive?
Okay, so if we can gather that all of these kids within this building with Mimahime and Tokyo all have within them the ability to become a man-eater.
Yeah.
If we give whatever we have could be potentially given to a person that could reverse that without killing them.
Correct. Before they get to a state that they will die or be turned into a man-eater.
Just how long before... Like, we saw Shiro. Shiro should have probably... If he was in the same place, he could have inevitably gotten the same disease. But maybe for certain people it works faster or starts sooner. Maybe it wasn't in all of the kids.
Yeah.
And so that means that Maru... If Tokyo is Maru's mom, like, Tokyo could still be walking around as if normal.
Or Tokyo had another kid too. And that's why they share a face. One or the other.
So...
Holy shit.
I feel like my mind is like going a bunch of different places.
Yeah, because we have confirmation now. So everything that was a possible theory before is now solidified in one direction. So we can
Mikura be? Because obviously Mikura has the disease. Mikura's the only character within the real world before the outside world, before now, that we are coming across that has this disease. Does that mean Mikura is also tied to that group of kids?
Yeah.
So then would Mikura be the child of another set of the kids?
Mikura as in...
No, because the king of hotels has something within them. So how do we pass this? What is this disease? How is it
I don't know.
passed to one person
no.
to
I
another?
think you're onto something with Mikura, because Mikura knew something about Maru, therefore needs to have been, I think, at least closely connected to one of the kids. What is...
But also Mikura, we got language a couple episodes ago, very recently, that Mikura kept somewhat of a distance between her and Maru in terms of, like, Maru was not human. That there was possibly a distinction that was being made there in terms of how Mikura treated Maru or thought of Maru, which would lead to Mikura not having the possibility of being a man-eater. So then how do you know if someone has that disease if they're going to become a man-eater or not?
Yeah, that's a good point, but I think that, like, the idea that Mikura was connected somehow is not a bad idea in the slightest.
She had to be somewhat connected.
She had the gun.
Know. To what?
She had the gun.
She had the gun, and she knew what Maru's mission was.
Yeah.
Which makes me think that she had to have been told the mission by someone close to Tokyo, or that knew of Tokyo. If he's been given the mission to look for someone with the same face as his, then they have to have knowledge of Tokyo. And that would lead me to believe that Mikura is a child of one of the people in this friend group.
Give me a second. I'm going to pull up a picture of Mikura. So Mikura definitely has, like, obviously dark hair. That kind of lends itself to, like, Taro, but Taro's dead.
Right. When we first saw the disease markings I think within, like, episode, I don't know, around episode 5, I remember us just saying something like, oh, Taro and Mikura both had the same, thing. Maybe, like, a hereditary issue there. But then again, we did see him die as a kid. So. God,
it being Shiro makes so much sense in, like, even the first interactions we had with Shiro, messing with computers and electronics, and then being able to utilize that within generators and being able to make new inventions.
What's interesting is that in terms of his mental, he went from, I would say, when he was younger, when we view him when he was younger, it does seem like he tinkers because he gets enjoyment from it, but it seems like there was something of maybe the calamity that happened, something of what has transpired. He has closely connected his desire of what he loves in life to Mimihime.
Yeah.
That it is now so closely entangled that he views that he was only doing those things because it continuously was making her happy. But really, for all this time, he's been staying alive just to take care of her.
Him having the pin with the same insignia as the gun, it all but confirms the connection to Mikura.
Yeah.
Like hands down. But, thinking about, like, to me, at least, it's like 99.9% confirmation that Maru is the son of Tokyo, right? Like, there's no other way to look at it, in my opinion.
Okay, so we did have... What are the ages here? Because we have Tokyo and Kona, like, we basically see that they do something.
That's my point.
Was that, like,
That's my point.
Conception of
I think
Maru?
so.
Okay. Wow.
And... the idea of that, like, imagine if Shiro and Mimihime knew or got to know somehow that Maru was the child of Tokyo in this instance.
Okay. Point here. If they grew up with this person as being one of their best friends, and they know about the fact that within their group, or at least within Mimihime, is something closely tied with a man-eater, and then they meet a kid with Tokyo's face that's able to do this stuff to man-eaters, wouldn't there be...
What if something happens before they know Tokyo gets pregnant, and they, like, have there's like, there was no time for Tokyo to even have a kid, so that's not even possible.
Wouldn't Mimihime have continuous... Actually, okay, so There's the possibility from this episode that Mimihime forgets all of the visions that she gets very soon after she has them. So it might have been that the first time she saw that vision that she told Tokyo about, it might have been literally right after she got it, and then she forgot about it after the fact. So it could be that she never told Shiro this vision of seeing someone with the same face as Tokyo doing this for her. Because if she had spread the word to him about it, maybe we would have gotten more of a dialogue there, or maybe more of a hint that he recognized that this was the situation. But could we also read that there is still the possibility that he realized this was going to be the person that was going to be able to do it for her, for so many coincidences kind of tying together in a nice bow?
I don't know. Okay, I have a question. Okay, so let me break it down in this way first. What is the reason? Who is the reason that we are currently theorizing that Shiro was forced into a connection with Mimihime by getting a picture of her?
Mina.
Who is the person that led and helped Tokyo and Kona interact and have that interaction? Why the fuck does Mina have ulterior motives / know what's going to happen and have a similar foresight ability, if that's the case? Because that cannot be ignored.
We've never gotten an idea of when Mina came to be. And so that's why, like, when we first got Asura appearing as some sort of phantom ghost in front of Tokyo, we were like, there's no way that, like, if this is a ghost situation or brain and robot put together, is Mina truly maybe, like, cognitive, like, the brain of Asura? And that's why maybe they didn't surmise that feelings and attachments would still proceed past death and into just the brain connected to a computer.
Jesus fuck, what happened? What happened to split everyone up? What, like, obviously, like,
we were preparing for the day of fate.
Yeah, obviously, whatever the cataclysm was, right? Like, was so. Do you think it was focused on a specific area, or it happened globally to the extent that everybody went their own ways? Like, it's crazy that it was just. We don't know how it ended up being just Shiro and Mimihime here, but that's wild.
Also, if we're getting that one of the at least one of, well, I mean Taro. Okay, so we have confirmation now that 2 of the children that were within this bubble were able to had something man-eater within them. And we're keeping them in this isolated place up until the day of fate, where we can surmise man-eaters became one of the big issues here. Why are we keeping these kids here waiting for that day? Are we wanting man-eaters to happen? Are we trying to protect these kids from the possibility of becoming man-eaters?
Okay, so if the idea of foresight is on the table, or knowing that there is like a day of fate, and that potentially man-eaters might be inevitable, whether or not it comes from their creation, if the next step is that they are inevitable, the idea would be how to defeat them, or how to stop them from happening, which is the existence of somebody like Maru, right? Mm-hmm. If that was the goal within raising these kids, like trying to understand what man-eaters are and even get closer to incorporating them with humans to somehow figure out a way of not allowing this to happen, like of giving somebody the ability to take that out of them before anything starts turning, any disease starts happening. That could be a potential, reason.
Mm-hmm. So if we're, okay, Kona drew the fish man-eater. Even more reason now to believe that he was somewhat getting premonitions as well, and/or he was the fish man-eater.
Oh,
that's man. The only man-eater he draws. He draws some creepy imagery of a baby. There's like a sun image. There's some people or body shapes.
That's
but the only man eater we get him drawing that we have emphasis on, because the image isn't given. It doesn't like Cuckoo get the image of the fish or something like that. The fish man eater. Yeah.
So what was the line that we got from Dr. Asura that was like about how
Dr. Usumi?
Sorry, yeah, Usumi, about how like the differences, right, between a man-eater born from a human.
I would like to rewatch a couple of conversations within this episode.
Okay, I think I have it pulled up. If I did, she'll become a monster like the ones in the basement in terms of, unplugging everything. She's going to become a man-eater. Are man-eaters human? If you ask me if they are human, they are a little different. They are former humans who died from a disease that turns them into monsters. I think it sounds like something we'd never get confirmation of, but the idea that Kona was that fish man-eater is tragically poetic, and like just as a theory, I think will need to forever be on the table.
Oh yeah, especially if we never meet Kona. Kona's never like alive within the story, or we know what happened to Kona. If that never happens, if we never get told like an actual storyline,
that's like such a crazy headcanon.
That is going to be my theory, is that he was the fish on the boat.
Holy shit, man.
Did you... I don't know. I guess I kind of was starting to think about the fact that, not that the humans were becoming man-eaters, more so I was trying to understand... I guess I was thinking that the piece of man-eater within the humans was more so a after effect of the fact that man-eaters have now entered into this world and are part of the lore in the story, and not as much that that is the seed to becoming a man-eater or being able to turn into a monster. I guess when we saw that the King of Hotels had it, and we were still on the same somewhat of a page of trying to figure out where the timelines matched up, where A and B plot were, and we saw Taro's death, I was like, okay, so is this something that now after the man-eaters have appeared, this is a new development? I mean, we're talking about the Immortal Order soon after that King of Hotels episode, where we're talking about mixing parts of man-eaters with humans.
Like, what was it incorporated artificially into humans that becomes that man-eater cell that then overtakes and starts infecting the human to make them die and then be born a monster? Or was it like a natural development within human evolution that it was born from?
A new disease from these new creatures that exist, in the same way that you can get rabies or something when you're bit by an animal that has rabies.
I think that's a great question. Can we, like, if we remove it from the King of Hotels, do they die?
Right, like if we actually, if Maru had actually done what he did to Mimihime, is this confirmation that Maru could have killed the King of Hotels?
Or could have saved the King of Hotels, right?
Right, that was the only... Mimihime was being kept alive.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And so Mimihime was being kept alive, and if Mimihime was in perfect health and we did that, would Mimihime be fine?
But we said we were keeping her, well, unless they were about on death's door.
Yeah.
So Mimihime, we're maybe getting here too late.
But
like if we were able to do this before Mimihime was on death's door, or the disease has been progressed
forever, seemingly.
Yeah, which has seemed to be a very long time.
Yeah. But then it goes into, well, what the fuck would be the point in the syringe? Maybe if you do remove it right now without giving somebody with the same face as Maru the syringe, it does kill them. Maybe that's what's needed to complete the formula to be able to remove it without consequence.
Is the syringe something that can take care of the disease before it's able to become a factor that would lead to death?
Yeah.
Like, oh gosh, okay.
The idea of Shiro giving Mimihime his eye is one of the most
the fact that
breathtaking things. Oh.
Honestly, think about her arc, if you will. Like, if we can surmise that Shiro and Mimihime have been like this for a while, where she has been hooked up to equipment for quite a long time. Because we get a kind of image when he's talking about the first time he tinkered with, like, making a prosthetic arm for someone, she's already bandaged up.
Yeah.
And he was doing it because it was making her happy. And all that can make me think of is the fact that how many times has Mimihime actually gotten to enjoy the sky within her lifetime?
Maybe once.
Maybe the day that they got out of there for whatever the reason was that they got out of there. And now, upon her death, was she able to?
What a fascinating character Mimihime is.
She's forever been surrounded by equipment, technology, artificial intelligence. Like, her whole life has been surrounded by closed walls, and all that she's ever had for comfort or for connection is just the couple of humans that were also in there with her.
Do you think the thing in the man-eater in the basement... Wait, actually, I don't want to say something stupid. We got language about what the man-eater in the basement was, right? Were we trying to differentiate that the man-eater in the basement was not something that was bred from a human?
I don't know. Is there a specific line that you remember to, like...
It might just be like Mandela effect, but for some reason I thought that Shiro had said, like, in terms of this being a different situation maybe than the thing in the basement. I was about to bring up the idea, like, oh, do you think that the man-eater in the basement was a human at some point? Maybe a kid from the facility, but I almost feel like that would have probably been touched upon if that was the case.
It could be more so just differentiating between, as you would, like, life stages.
Yeah.
Like, Mimihime is still a human at this point, and that thing is not.
Yeah. God
there's
damn.
There's somewhat of a blurry line here. But what I think, obviously there's a few other things other than what is mind-blowing about this episode. There's other things that are mind-blowing and or should be put up on the shelf.
I was about to go the same direction.
About.
Yeah.
Okay, which
hard.
one were you gonna pick? Because
It's
there's
hard
like two.
Not to just talk about the fucking biggest reveal of this entire show, but I really want to talk about Maru's emotional state.
Okay, thank you. That was where I was going next.
It's so important and it's so real.
Yeah. It's an exciting and compelling element to add in here into this story.
The second that Maru wasn't reacting to seeing Shiro's body on the roof, I was like, holy shit. Even though we're 8 episodes in, I feel like I know Maru, and I feel like he is going to come to the conclusion that all he fucking can do is kill and end up having people dead by his hands. And it's perfect. It's the perfect choice that that logically this person, this character would feel this way, and it's devastating. It's devastating. What do you say?
It's not the first time that I've seen the idea of a human confronting the fact that what they first viewed as a monster or a mythical beast is actually or was actually a human.
Yeah.
And I do really love that idea, and I think that in the ways that I have seen it done before, I have enjoyed it in each way that I've seen it, because I think that it's compelling for both how you could write the mental state and emotional state of the characters within the show, but as a viewer, it puts you in this moral dilemma as well. It puts you in this emotional, internal dilemma as well when you're being shown these horrific monsters that are doing horrific things, and then having to start applying a sympathy or an empathy in a place that you did not perceive that you would have to. When you start putting a humanity aspect
Are you
onto
talking
it.
about, like, going forward too, like, not only like talking about previous monsters that you or man-eaters that you have killed, but in the future, Maru, when taking out a man-eater, is going to have to wonder if this was a human at one point.
This will affect him for any new human that he makes a contact with and a relationship with, especially if he touches them and can tell.
Yeah.
And every man-eater that they fight.
I think that Kiriko's response to Maru was the only good response you could have of you're saving so many people by killing the man-eaters, but that doesn't fix it. That doesn't take it away.
If there's no way, that's another dilemma that comes up when you use this idea, is the person that has the power or can do the killing is going to forever wonder if it is within their grasp to save.
Yeah.
And not just kill.
Uh-huh.
The day that they are possibly confronted with what is currently an unknown, if it does exist, that there's a syringe, that there's a cure, that they didn't have to kill it in this way, they could have done it in a different way and they would have reverted back to human, or they could have got there sooner and done something differently. That is going to forever weigh on this, what is a 15-year-old.
Man. Well, okay. Just Leviumen, they're gonna fucking die. I don't even imagine we come back to them.
So, okay, wait, yeah, they're another thing to want to discuss. I think we should leave the man that we're not gonna name yet, because then we'll start talking about him to the end.
Okay.
Because I want to talk on this, about the group that has taken over the hospital during this episode.
Yeah.
I would perceive that they will die.
Yeah.
I
don't think that we're going to even come back to them because I don't think it's necessary. I think that I agree with you. I think showing us that there was a man-eater left over in the basement, while also showing us the fact that what I deduced was these right-hand men to the main, I think her needs... I don't remember exactly what her name was, the person with the prosthetic leg. The right-hand men to her, their motives were skewed Mizuhashi,
from the rest
maybe?
of the... What was
Mizuhashi, maybe?
Yes, that's what her name was. Their motives were skewed from what they were telling the group as a whole. The bald man... Who knows if she was even dead or if this was a plot all along for them to do this. Maybe it was his own headcanon that if she dies during this time, I don't know. It just seems like someone in there was like, I don't really care about what they're doing, but I like that they have all those generators. So I'm going to go along with this angry crowd in order to then use them as my pawns later on to create, as he has said, something like a new order.
I thought that it was heartbreaking to see the people under Shiro who had made that hospital their home have to leave, and that little girl was like, why do we have to leave our home?
Yeah.
That was fucking devastating.
I think another point that we're never going to go back to is we're never going to go back to those people who were told after we bury what I think Mimahime's name on the tablet was Hoshio.
Yeah.
After we do the burial, then the guards will lead the doctor back to you. They're
agree.
never going to see the doctor again, and I don't think we will ever see their reaction to the doctor just never showing up again.
There's a chance we do, and it's small and slight, but probably not, because we got the piece of information that we needed, which is the best segue to Robin.
Yep.
Dr. Inazaki. I hope he's alive. I think it's
alive.
I think it's truly fascinating that that's the direction that he went in, especially because of his opposition to what was happening within their time period. But then you wonder how much of what happened with Liviumen versus the Immortal Order was actually true or just conjecture, and then how that all played out into Robin knowing what happened, because he obviously started to want to study under Shiro. You know, I think it's fascinating, and I hope that we find him alive somewhere.
It seems like he got to... There was a point in time where he wasn't able to help someone in the way that he would have liked. We do know that he was the character that was suspicious of Doc. Interesting. But now he's a doctor himself that's helping people. There still could be an opposition there. Like, there still could be the case that he would have an adverse reaction to meeting Kiriko. Like, Kiriko would be excited to meet Robin, but will Robin be excited to possibly meet Kiriko?
Yeah.
I don't know, because we're getting, obviously, the fact that the Immortal Order doesn't actually do these crazy human experiments.
Isn't it interesting, like, how the line of misinformation based from true information is making itself known in the show? Like, it brings into question the idea of this man wanting to combine himself with man-eater parts. Like, is that derived from some miscommunication of somebody once hearing that a person, maybe Mimahime, upon death would turn into a man-eater, and that is just through a game of telephone misconstrued into?
Right. I think what we're seeing is we can believe that with a high level of being able to communicate with the rest of the world or consume media, that there could be a high level of manipulation through information. But then again, all information is at your fingertips for you to decipher and look through to deem what you view as the truth. Here we have everyone cut off from being able to communicate nonstop with each other and put articles out there and news out there. We're finding maps that people are selling on the street where they're writing notes like creepy people or strange people in an area. And we have to kind of, take that and not completely trust it. It's someone else's subjective view of the world.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they're cut off from truly getting the telephone. When you have groups of people purely just communicating through, every once in a while we'll pass this person, we'll pass another person, and then, we learn bits and pieces of information. We have people that are purposefully manipulating information, like 100% safe water being a ruse.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If you had to like make a bet about Robin being alive or not, where do you feel like you're at with it?
I think he's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do as well.
Cool. We're on the same page.
Yeah. Damn. I was trying to get a screenshot and then blow it up of what was the text above Hoshio. But I don't think there's anything other than
measuring backups. The server may log for a little while. Doing backups for Hoshio chart 1, uploading file to something drive.
It's nothing that would be substantial for us. God, what a great episode. Love it. All right, that's all I have you. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.